Okay. Make sure you guys know what is your tests. Your midterm. Got only 2 tests with me, midterm and finals. So your midterm is this next term. Your midterm test is next Wednesday. So it's not this Wednesday, it's next Wednesday. It covers chapter 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And if you look at chapter 6, we did 6.1, 6.2, and 6.4. So we will definitely finish 6.1 and 6.2 today. We'll start 6.4 on Wednesday in class. And then on the coming Monday, we'll review for your test. So make sure you guys got your review, the review paper. I will print some review out on Wednesday class, so you get the review. And then when you come to class on Wednesday, we will have a test. So it's again, your midterm is next Wednesday. It's going to be in class. You are allowed, make sure you have a calculator. I will not accept a cell phone calculator. So please get a calculator. And that will be something that I want to point out to you guys. So let's talk about your informations here. So share the screen here. So this is talking about your midterm here. Okay, so you guys all knows when it's your midterms, and so your midterm in this case will be on Wednesday. Not this coming Wednesday, is next Wednesday, which is the 13th, October 13th. And it will cover chapter 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And if you look at chapter 6, it goes all the way till 6.4. Yes, so the whole chapter 6 is included. Make sure you have a calculator. Okay, again, I do not take cell phone calculators. Make sure you also have a StatCrunch in your laptop. So if you are using laptop, you need to bring your laptop. Make sure you have your StatCrunch in your laptop, which I think you guys have it online in this case. What else? Your midterm will consist of 10 multiple choice questions, A, B, C, D, E, and 5 open-ended questions. Open-ended questions means questions like what we did in class, like all these questions you did in class here. This is what we call as open-ended questions. Means you have to show me your work, how you get your answer here. So that will be your task here. So it'll be 5 open-ended questions. My suggestion is do this first, because this is around 40 points, 40 to 50 points. Your multiple choice is only 10 points, because 10 questions, 1 point each. You do not, for multiple choice, you do not need to show me any work because it's A, B, C, D, E. You just need to circle 1 correct answer. So if you are greedy, they circle 2. If you circle 2 answers, I'll mark you wrong. Okay, I don't care. So it's only 1 correct answers for the multiple choice. So I do suggest you guys to do the 5 open-ended question first, because that is worth the most point. Your midterm is going to be from 4:30 till 6 o'clock in our classroom, BHCC 108, the one that we meet on Wednesday. Anyone have any questions? The review for this midterm is already in D2L. So if you go to D2L, you will get the review. I will also send out another review out for you guys, so you guys can review this. Your review will be on Monday, the 11th. Next Monday, we will review on your midterm stuff here. Okay, so that will be the review here in this case. So we will definitely go over some of the stuff that we talk about today. Anyone have any questions for me with the midterm and the review?
Okay. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6
You go 6 to all the way. You need calculators.
Okay, what, and you go up to what?
I'm sorry?
1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
That's the chapters.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's a chapter. So so there will be 10 multiple choice questions and 5 open-ended questions.
And you said just the and 5 open question is worth 40 points?
Worth around 40 to 50 points, yes. Yep. Anyone have any questions?
And also you said we can have like a paper with those,
Yes.
right?
Forget about that. Yep. And you also have one piece of paper. Thank you so much, Kevin, for reminding me. And make sure it is only front page, not the both page, only the front page. Normal size paper, not the big size paper. Yeah, you are allowed to take one piece of paper in there. You can put whatever you want in that piece of paper. I don't care how big or how small your handwriting is.
You
And
said
yes,
we can type. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can type it out. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. Kevin, yep. Anyone have any questions for your midterm? All right. So when we talk about chapter 6, chapter 6 is talking about what we call as a uniform, when we talk about normal distribution. So you need to know in StatCrunch, we are using StatCrunch here. There are 2 things you need to watch out is either you find the probability or you find the z-score. So again, this is very, very important. A lot of students, please don't use the table, Suli. Don't use the table. We are not using table here. So so don't use the word help me to solve this or help me to do your homework, because they will refer to your tables. So please use StatCrunch. So if a question is asking you to find the probability, make sure that you go to stat calculators normal. Make sure you set the mean equals to 0 and your standard deviation equals to 1. And then they will have this px. This symbol is either you use less than or greater than one of the symbol. And then make sure that you leave the blank next to the symbol, leave it blank and put this one. And then you put the z-score here. So this is usually given in the question. And then leave this blank. So this is how, if a question asks you to find probability, if a question is asking you to find area, or the question is asking you to find percentage. Okay, so they are all the same thing. So if a question can ask you to find the probability, to find the area, find the percentage, but make sure you guys know that percentage, you have to convert the answer into percent. So you need to multiply by 100. So this is what it means by finding your probability, area, percentage. And if the question is asking us to find the z-score, the question is asking us to find the critical value. Critical value looks like Z alpha. This is what this critical value looks like. If a question is asking us to find percentile, too high, too low, what percent is too high, what percent is too low. So those are what we are talking about, the orange highlight. So when you do the too high and too low percentile, we are using the orange highlight. Again, the mean in this case will be set as 0 and 1. Mean is 0, selection is 1. But what you do here is you set either again less than or equals to, but this time you leave this blank. Okay, so you switch around, and this is usually the area or the percent. This is the area or the percent. And usually this is given in the question. So if you put in the wrong area, they will give you the they give you the wrong answer. So this is 6.1. Okay, then I will talk about what happens in 6.2. So this is what you do in your StatCrunch. So if I have a question that looks something like this one, It's asking us to find the area of the shaded region. Suli, this is your question. So if I ask you to find the area of the shaded region, which one are you looking at? Are you looking at the red one or are you looking at the blue one?
Red.
Red. And oh, by the way, this is so this, and if you look at your the shading, is that less than or greater than in this case?
I guess that was what confuses me because I was expecting them to say something like less than, greater than.
Look at the picture.
Yes, yeah. So I think that's greater than.
Yes, that's greater than.
But then when it was in negative, I was confused.
Well,
like,
can your z-score be negative?
Last time you said it can be positive or negative, right?
Yes, yes.
But then when I
Yes.
was putting it in on the StatCrunch, like negative 1.07, it
So
would
where
have.
do you put negative 1.07 at? Where do you put your negative 1.07 at?
So I think I realized I was putting it in the z-score area instead of the parentheses. So that was the mistake.
So where do you put negative 1.07 at?
So
The
like it's
first
supposed to be in the middle. Yeah,
Which one? This one or this one?
that one.
First or second?
First.
Okay. So
So-
yeah, put negative 1.07 and then use greater, right?
Mm.
This is the answer.
Yeah, I was
And the-
putting it on the second one.
No, as I said, if you use a red one, you leave this what? Blank. You leave this blank. You put it on over here. So so this is how you figure out this, and make sure that your picture match. Is this picture match with the picture on your homework here? Does this picture match the same? Are they match? They should match. Yep. And in 4 decimal place, you just take this number and round to 4 decimal place. So that is how we do. So make sure you guys are. This is important, and you have to practice. Class, do not wait. Because some of you are like, oh, I'm gonna wait till Monday. I'm gonna wait till Monday to do my homework.
The thing is, like, you know how they give you a z-score and then you put it in the second box. I think I was just confused about when do you put it in the second box? Is it when it's actually indicated in the question that
I will show it right here. It's right here. You say it's red line. This is the one. This is what we do. Yes. You're gonna practice this in 6.2 and 6.4, so you'll get used to it. Yep. Now, the next one we have is this question, which is question number 2. It's asking us that you want to figure out what is the cutoff value that is lowest 2% and highest 2%. So lowest 2% means this is the lowest 2% and this is the highest 2%. And they want you to figure out what is the value, what is the cutoff values in this case. They're asking for cutoff values. So which one are we doing here? Is that, are we using the red one or the blue one here? Are we looking for probability, area, percent, or are we looking for z-score, percentile, too high, too low? Which one are we looking for, the red one or the blue one in this case?
Z-score.
So this question is asking us for z-score, you're correct. So if you ask for z-score, then make sure you empty the first one and then you put the number on the second one. Okay, so in this case, you want a 2% low. That means this is 2%. So we have to find this first, and then after that, you got to find the other one. So you have to find both of these. So I think Tevan, you asked me this question, right?
Yeah.
So this is 2%. So in order for us to find a 2% too low or lowest 2%, they are the same thing. So in order for us to find the z-score here, make sure that this 2% you have to put it in here. That's the 2%, and you leave this blank. Okay, so go to the StatCrunch. Now you want it to be less than, so you go less than, and then you want less than 2%, so you type 0.02 in this case. So this value is your z-score. Okay, so don't forget, this is your z-score. This is your the probability. Okay, so so in this case, your answer for the first one is negative 2.05. So this z-score is negative 2.05. And then you need to find the z-score that is on the high end, 2% also, 2% too high. So again, we use the 2% over here. So this time we're gonna do on the right side, so which is this side, and the 2% in this case is positive 2.05. So so that is the 2% too high and 2% too low in this case. Okay, so this z-score will be positive 2.05. So you do have two answers here. So the answer in this case in 2 decimal place is negative 2.05 and a positive 2.05. You guys all right here?
Quick question. Will you always be able to just do like the positive version of the negative z-score and it'll give you the right answer?
If it's the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1, which is in this section, yes, you'll be get it correct, Skylar, because it's symmetrical. So anything on the right is the same on the left. So that's why the only thing is the z-score be 1 is positive, 1 is negative. This is only happens when your mean is 0, your standard deviation is 1.
Okay.
In the next section, 6.2, your mean is no longer 0 and your standard deviation is no longer 1. So it can be any number. Then you cannot say, oh, this is 2.05, then the other one is negative 2.05. No, it's not going to happen for that case. Okay. Now, since we talk about this 2% too high and 2% too low, can someone help me to do this question number 4 here? 4C, I want you to find 2.5% that is rejected, that is too high, and 2.5% that is rejected, they are too low. Go ahead and find this cutoff numbers. I think we start at number 4, right? In your Wednesday class?
No.
Where did we stop at then?
Right above it.
We stopped
right?
at 3.
We
We
did
stopped
3,
at
right?
3.
Yep. So I'm going to do 4C first because we are in the too high and too low here. We're going to do A and B later on. So we're going to do C in this case. So go ahead and try to do 4C in this case, 2% too high and 2.5% too low in this case. So it looked very similar to what we just did here, but I want a 2.5% too high and 2.5% too low. Yep. Make sure you draw your pictures. Your picture looks very similar to this picture. I'm going to ask you guys how you get your answer here. You guys have this handout, right? I think I handed it to you guys. So anyone how to find a 2.5% too low?
Is that 0.0062?
Huh?
Isn't that negative 2.5?
No.
You say 2.5 too low?
Yep. How do you find the 2.5% too low here?
Oh, would it be 0.25?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
You paying attention? So anyone know how to use your stack crunch to do 2.5% too high, too low? Let's do too low first.
So I got 0.401
How do you get that?
by putting this 0.25 in the stack crunch.
I know where. The first
Yeah.
one or the second one?
The first one, and it's less than.
Silly. That's why you get wrong. Anyone want to help Suli? Where should you put the 0.25 at? The first one or the second one? Tevin, Armin, Skylar. Yep, Skylar.
The second one, or
The
sorry, the first one.
Where should we
Oh,
put the two?
Oh my gosh, sorry. You get your answer from the first blank, but you put 0.025 in the second blank.
You're correct. So in this case, we had to put the 0.025 for the second one. And you use the last that. So your answer should be what? Negative 1.96. So Suli, make sure you have this copy somewhere in you, because you get it wrong. You got those two switch around. And class, if you switch those two around, your answer is going to be wrong. So this will be negative 1.96 for the one that is 2.5% too low. And how do we do the 2.5% too high?
So is 0.025 considered as probability or z-score?
So this question is asking us for 2.5%. So that is actually your probability. As I mentioned, percent, probability, area are all the same.
So pretty much we're looking for z-score.
Yeah, we're looking for z-score,
Okay.
the blue one. Yeah.
When you're writing this out as like your answer, is it how it was?
If you write it out in like as I told you, write the last row. Remember that? So in order for you want to write your answer out for this question, you just copy and paste the last row. So in this case, it's a lot of too many. So you just copy this whole thing. So for part C, for C here, for the too low, the 2.5% too low, your answer will be just copy that down. Px less than or equal to negative 1.96 equals to 0.025. So that's too low. Anyone know how to do 2.5% too high here? Casey?
Don't you just do the opposite then?
So change this to
Change
become
yeah.
greater than,
Yeah.
and then do what?
Don't
Put
you just
it-
put the, sorry, go on.
What, you go ahead. Yep.
So then wouldn't that just be the 0.025 also?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing you're changing is that sign, right? The greater than or less than
And
sign.
what happens to your sign in the middle?
It changes to a positive.
Yep. And how do we write this? Is again
P parentheses X, and then greater than 1.9.
Mm-hmm. 6.
Yeah. Oh, I just wrote out the whole thing and then parentheses equals 0.025.
Yep. And in your homework, you just type in 1.96.
Yep.
But in my test, because I didn't know where you put, that's the reason why when you guys do in my test, I want to figure out where you put your 0.025 is. If you put it on the wrong side, your answer is going to be wrong. So this is how we do the 2.5% too high and a 2.5% too low. Okay, so make sure you guys know where to put it. So again, if a question is asking us for too high, too low, z-score, critical value, percentile, we're all using the blue one. Okay. Otherwise, if a question asking us for probability, area, or percentage, you use the red one. Okay. So make sure you guys know which one to put in. Let's take a look at number 4C here, 4A, sorry, 4A. The question is asking us to find the 80th percentile. And what is 80th percentile? 80th percentile is the bottom 80% from the top 20%. So that's the meaning of the 80th percentile. So if I want you to find percentile, 80th percentile, are we using the red one or are we using the blue one?
The blue one.
So, so when you look at the 80th percentile, so my next question is, when you talk about percentile, are we using less than, equal to, or greater than equals to? And if you doesn't know, it's in your notes. So which one do you use for percentile? This here is, this is your percentile. So you use what symbol? You use the too low symbol. Means what symbol we use, class?
Less than.
Yes, that's that. This is the one we use. Class, I don't know how many of you really look at my notes here, because the notes that I'm copying down here is all the goodies and details in there. So that's the reason why that if you stuck or something else, please look at it. How do you figure out? So in order for us to figure out percentile here, you use less than. So so how do we put this in your StatCrunch? Yes, percentile, we use less than. Anyone? The question is asking for 80th. Someone? Anyone? Anyone? To find 80th percentile?
Would you put like 0.8 in the middle or something?
Where you're gonna put it on the left, on the first box or the second box?
Or the left one?
Second box? First box? First or second box?
Is it the first one? No.
Look at this. Where do you want to put it?
Oh.
Class, can you
Right.
please copy this down somewhere in your notes or in your somewhere else? I'm showing you, this is my, I don't know how many times I told you where to put it. So if you don't copy this down, you're gonna have difficulty to do the whole chapter 6 material. So where do we put the 80th percentile? The first box or the second box?
It says the first box.
Class, I am going to re-teach this again. So please listen.
Hello, Prof.
please listen carefully here. And I really want you guys to please go and watch this video again. Because this is something I will want to post. I want to really want you guys to know what's going on here. Because if you put in the wrong box, it's gone. So if the question is asking for probability, area, or percentage, the z-score given in the question has to be put in the first box. The second block, you leave it blank. If the question is given us this, asking us for the z-score, percentile, too high, too low, critical value, you put it on the second box here. And you leave this one blank. You guys got it? You guys clear?
Yep.
And don't switch around here. So since this question is asking for percentile, so where do we put it here in this case? We're gonna put
the second box.
the second box. And what number? So we're gonna change to less than, because percentile we use less than, and 80 percentile in percent. What is 80% in decimals? Where's 80?
0.80. 0.80.
So this is how we do 80th percentile here. Is x is less than equals to blank equals to 80 percentile. So this is 80 percentile looks like. Don't forget 10 percentile is on the left side on here. 20 percentile, 30 percentile, 40%, 50 percentile is right in the middle, and then 60, 70. So this is 80 percentile, and the shading is always on the left. So percentile, the reason why we put less than is because it's always shading is to the left. So this, your answer in this case will be 0.841. This is your answer. So it's px less than or equals to 0.8416. That is your answer. And 0.80 is your percentile in this case. So this is how we find 80th percentile. You guys have any questions here? Okay.
I have a question.
Lawrence.
How do we get this on StatCrunch?
Go to calculator, stat, calculators, normal. Stats, calculators, normal. You will get this.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more chance here. You guys need to know. I want you guys to do the same thing as this question, but I'm not asking you to do 80th percentile. I'm gonna ask you to do the 35 percentile. So I want you guys to do the same question A here, but instead of 80th percentile, I want you guys to do 35 percentile. Everyone do it. $35 percentile. That's what you find.
It's negative, isn't it?
I do not know.
Yes.
Mine says negative 0.39.
Yeah, basically.
So you put, where do you put the 35 percentile at? The first
second
box
box.
or the second box?
The second
Second box.
And what is going to be on that one?
0.35.
0.35.
Yep. And are we using less than or greater than?
Less than.
Percentile is always less than. So this is your answer. Yes.
Okay.
So that will be negative 0 point something. Yep. This is your answer. You guys getting it?
Yep.
Okay, good. So this is how we find percentile. So next you need to find IQR. For B is asking you to find IQR. Does anyone remember what is the formula for IQR? What's the formula for IQR?
Is it Q3 minus Q1?
Yes, it's Q3 minus Q1. Does anyone know Q3 is how many percentile? Anyone know Q3 is what percentile?
Isn't that like the 99 point?
No,
No.
Is it 0.75?
it's 75 percentile. This is actually finding what is the 75 percentile
Oh,
minus what is the first quartile. What percentile is that?
25.
25.
25. So I want you guys to use the same thing that we did. Find what is 75 percentile is. And then also find what is 25 percentile. Same thing like what you just did just now. So 75 percentile and 25 percentile. Let's do 75 percentile first.
So I got 0.67. Sorry, yeah, 67.
67.
Yeah.
So you just change this to become what? 0.75, right?
Yeah.
So 0.67. You guys okay with 75 percentile? Now I want you guys to find the 25 percentile.
Oh, I got negative 0.67.
So it's, yep. So you just change the 25 percentile here. It's the same thing, it's negative. So this is negative 0.67. So now the question asks you to find IQR. IQR is what? Q3 minus Q1. And Q3 in this case is 0.67 minus Q1, which is also a negative 0.67. Now you guys know what happens when you see two negative like this?
Becomes plus.
Become plus. Yes, this is the same as 0.67 plus 0.67, right? Anyone has a calculator to help me? What is 0.67 plus 0.67?
$1.34.
Yep, that's your answer. So the IQR for this case is 1.34. Okay. Now, I just want to point out the one that I'm pointing out here is all in your notes here. So when you find the z-score, the IQR, the probability, you need to know that it has to have units. And your answer can be any number. So when you give me this kind of answers, make sure you give them units. And this is talking about thermometer. And thermometer is measured based on this question 3, is measured in degrees Celsius. So all the units here, like when you put down this negative 0.35 something, you need to put units. And the units in this case is degrees Celsius. I put C in there because I don't have. And same thing happens to all this. That means that your answer in this case must have units. And I put C for degrees Celsius. This 1.34 that you give it to me will have units degrees Celsius. So so something I want to again emphasize on here. When you do the blue one, when you leave this blank, it has your answer will have unit. Okay. If you do probability areas percentage, you have no units here. Okay, that is the difference between this. If it's a percent, then you just if a question asks you for percentage, then the unit is in percent. But if a question asking for probability, there is no unit. And for the probability, this answer has to be between 0 and 1. Okay, it has to be between 0 and 1. The z-score can be any number you want. It can be -2, -3, 1, 2, 5, whatever number you want. So that is the difference between the red one and the blue one. So make sure you guys know which one is which, because I'm going to give you a little bit of homework problems here and see how you guys do. This is all in 6.1 here. So so you guys, I just want to figure out what you guys how to do. I just randomly pick a question and here you go.
Hey,
So
I have a
this-
quick question though.
Casey.
So when you were doing the IQR and you were plotting into StatCrunch, every time you do the IQR, are we supposed to, is it always like the like a less than, or how do
Yes,
you?
because
it's
we are
always
finding
less
75, we are finding percentiles,
Oh. always
and
less than.
percentile is always less than. Yep, because Q3 is 75 percentile and Q1 is 25 percentile.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep. All right, so this is a
Hello,
question.
hello, Prof. Hello, Prof.
Yes.
What if I'm
Yes.
finding probability and area and percentage? So is it going to be less than or greater than?
Depends on your shading.
Okay.
If your shading is on the left, less than. If your shading is on the right, greater than. If you're shading in the middle, in between.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
read the question.
Okay.
All right. I want you guys to do question number 4 here. This question number 14 on 6.1. Please don't look at this table. Do not look at this table. None of those. So can you tell me which is the correct graph for between 0.5 and 1.25? A, B, or C?
A.
Okay, so between means in the middle. So this is A. This one is called less than because the shading is on the left. This one is called greater than because the shading is on the right. So in between or in the middle. That is the correct answer. Next, you need to find what is the probability of this. So in order for you to find the probability, are we looking for the red one or the blue one?
The right one.
Okay, I want you guys to go to your StatCrunch and do this. And don't forget, for between, it's a special case, right? Because you have to go where for the between one. You have to click the between one here. Okay. So go ahead and try to do this. Wish I got lots of, it's hard to teach. Where's that? Anyone know what to put here? So make sure you don't go to standard, go to the between one.
I got 0.20, but I don't know if that's correct.
How do you
Yeah.
put, it's a 4 decimal place. How do you put,
Oh,
how do you put this in here?
I put, so in the first one, I put 0.5,
Uh-huh.
and then the second one, I put 1.25.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you have 11.
I know. And you hit compute.
Yeah,
And
I just-
what is your answer in 4 decimal place?
0.2029.
Mm-hmm. You guys all right here? Questions for me with this kind of questions? Because this is something that your test will look similar to it. Okay. All right. We did this before. Okay. This question, read the question. This is number 18. And they want you to find the P2, second percentile. P2. Can someone tell me which graph here represent second percentile? A, B, C, or D? And why you say that?
Is it C?
Why is C, Grace?
Well, I mean, I didn't StatCrunch and it's showing me the exact thing.
Remember percentile, where is percentile is when you're talking about? Is that less than or greater than for percentile?
It's less than.
Less than means you shade where?
To the left. Oh,
To
yeah.
the left. So this one doesn't look like a shading to the left.
Yeah, you're right.
So C is wrong. So don't forget percentile is to the left, is less than, correct?
Yeah.
So
so
which one is the correct one?
B.
B. And don't forget percentile always measure from the left end. So this is the second percentile. You guys all right here? Now I want you guys to find what is the second percentile. So you're going to use your StatCrunch to find this. Let's go back to your standard. Anyone second percentile? How we do second percentile? You did 25, you did 98, you did 75. There's so many percentile. How you do this? Less than or equals to, where should we put the second percentile? The first box or the second box?
The second box.
And that will be what number?
0.02.
And this we use what? Less than or equal to, right? So this is your answer. But the question asking for 2 decimal place. So what's the 2 decimal place in this case? Negative 2.05. Questions with this? Okay. Anyone have any questions? So this is how we do 6.1. Very similar to 6.2. So we're going to talk about 6.2 now. So what is 6.1? This is called standard normal distribution. Okay, so I'm going to save this again. So this is called a standard normal distribution. So when we do standard normal distribution, the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. Now, when we talk about 6.2, 6.2 is talking about just the normal distribution. So when you talk about normal distribution, your mean in this case will be sigma, and your standard deviation is a mu. Sorry, your mean is your mu, and your standard deviation is sigma. So in other words, we are using exactly the same thing as what we did early on, but our mean in this case will be given us a number, and our standard deviation is given a number. So what is the difference between 6.1 and 6.2? If you talk about StatCrunch is we will use a number. So remember last time you put mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. So now the mean can be 80, standard deviation can be 3 or whatever number we use. We will still use back the same blank. Remember, if you find area, percentage, probability, you put the number on the first one, leave the second one blank. If they ask you for z-score, percentile and all those things, you put it on the second one. It's exactly the same you did in 6.1, but this time the mean is a number, a standard deviation is a number. Okay, so that's why you need to watch out for that. Okay, so this is so if you look at this is the same thing as what I did in 6.1. The only difference here is that your mean now is a number and standard deviation is a number. Same thing here, your mean and standard deviation. Now, instead of z-score, remember last time we used z-score in 6.1, we don't use z-score anymore, we use x-score. Okay, it's just an x-score. Okay, so what's only different is that this is x, this used to be z, in 6.2 is all going to be x. Okay, so that's the only all value in this case. Okay, so again, do not get confused between areas and the scores, the values are down there. So areas are probabilities, right? And then values is like your z-score or your percentile. Okay, so make sure you guys know the difference. Again, I'm really emphasize on this is because a lot of students get those two mixed up. That's the one in the beginning. So make sure you guys know this. And your shading, make sure you know where your shading is. So if I say top 10%, your shading is on the right side. If I say bottom 10%, the shading is on the left side. And graph, every time when you guys do something like question, when you do normal distribution, make sure you graph it for me. Okay, and again, class, what is the difference between chapter 5 and chapter 6? Chapter 6 always have this word, normally distributed. So if you can tell, they all have this word, normally distributed. Or they have the word uniformly distributed. If you have a uniformly distributed, please don't use a normal calculator here because this is for normal curve. You have to go to the uniform, okay? So when it's called uniform distributed, make sure you go to calculators, you go to uniform. When they ask for normal distributed, then you go to the normal. Okay, there are two different types of distribution in chapter 6 here. So last time we do binomial. If you remember chapter 5, we do a binomial and we do custom. So these are mostly chapter 5 and 6. 5 is custom and binomial. Chapter 6 will be normal and uniform. Okay. And yes, in the test, it will be stated very clearly like this: uniformly distributed, normally distributed. Okay. So this is all normally distributed for question 1. And this time the mean is 100 and the standard deviation is 15. So it's not 0, 1 anymore. So how do we find question A? Find the probability that this is less than 115. So in order for us to do question 1A, again, I recommend you to draw the picture. In the test, pictures cost points, so 1 point each. So how do we do the first question here is, how do we draw the picture? It's a normal distributed, so you have to draw a normal curve. The mean in this case is 100, so you draw 100 here. Now, if you remember last time in empirical rule, the solution is 15, you keep on adding 15 and you keep on subtracting 15 for 1, 2, 3. You do not need to do that. You just need to put the number 15 on top. Okay, so if you put 15 on top here, that is your standard deviation. Okay, and the question wants you to find the probability that is less than 115. So less than means 115 is somewhere here. This is 115. Less than means you shade to the left. So this is what the picture looks like for the probability that is less than 115. So when you go to your StatCrunch here, your mean in this case will be 100. So you have to change to 100 now. And your standard deviation is 15. Okay. So so that's the first thing you need to do in this kind of questions is you change the mean to 100 and the standard deviation is 15. Okay. And then since this shading is on the left, so it's gonna be Px less than. Now the 115 will go inside here because we are looking for probability. So usually probability you when you as you remember the first the first hour, when you find a probability area or percentage, you always leave that fellow blank, this box, the second box blank. So this is the same thing here. In order for you to find this, you just need to leave the second block blank. The first box is 115, which is this number. And your answer in this case is here. So it's 0.8413. So this is your answer for question 1A. So this is how you write in my test. Tell me the mean, tell me the standard deviation, tell me the picture, and then write the last row of the StatCrunch. And if you guys want to look at your picture should match with the picture that you draw. So 115 is right in the middle and your shading is on the left. If your picture and this picture show completely different, something is wrong. Okay. So this is how we do question 1A here, which is less than 115. I want you guys do question 1B on yourself. I want you to find the probability that it is between 90 and 100. So find that probability. Draw me the picture. And then, you know, the mean is still 100. The standard deviation is still 15. So no change on this. So it's not very, yeah. So go ahead and draw this picture out. Oh my God, come on screen. So what is a shading looks like? Anyone?
Between 90 and 110.
Oh,
Yep, between 90s here. 110 is here. And how do you put this in your StatCrunch?
so you put the between.
So you put the between one.
So you change the mean
Yep,
to 100 and the standard deviation to 15. And then
correct.
you put 90 on the first,
Box.
yeah, and then 115 on the second box. And
110. Don't forget, the question is asking for 110.
Oh,
110.
110. And then the answer is 0.49. So 0.
Yep, good. Yep, make sure you read the question. The question was 110, don't put 115. Okay, so it look very similar to this. You guys okay here? Anyone have any questions? And then you just copy the last row in here, right? That is your, so in your test, just copy this whole thing in here. P90 x less than or equals to 110, 0 point something, 0.4950. Anyone have any questions here? questions for me? All right. I want you to do part C now. Part C is asking you to find the probability that is more than 140. So in your test, the picture worth 1 point, this P90 100 worth 1 point, and this 0.495, your answer worth 1 point. So in your test, this worth 3 points. And if you forget your picture, you lose a point. If you forget to write down the P90 something, you lose a point. Again, the mean is 100. The standard deviation is 15. So 6.1 and 6.2 are very similar. The only difference is the mean and standard deviation. And the question wants you to find more than 140. Anyone?
For C, I got 0.0038.
So what's the picture looks like?
Oh, the shading is to the right. You find 140 and then you shade it to the right.
Mhm. And how is your stack crunch looks like?
Well, mine says P parentheses X.
So standard. Mhm.
Oh yeah, standard. And then I change it to greater than,
Mhm.
and then I put 140,
On the first box or the second box?
the first box.
And don't forget, class, if I classify probability, make sure you put it on the first box.
Mhm.
So it's very tiny, this one.
Mhm.
So this is your answer. Yep, 0.0038. So make sure you write down the last row here. Px greater than or equals to 140 equals to 0.0038. Questions, anyone? Let's do D. Now D is asking us to find what? 30th percentile, P30. 30th percentile. So the mean is still 100. The standard deviation is 15. Still the same. Do you guys still remember how you find 30th percentile? Where is 30th percentile at? Is that on the left side of the 100 or the right side of the 100? Anyone?
It's gonna be the second box, isn't it?
It should be on the left side here, right?
Left, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was
You're
thinking
fine.
of the,
Yep, you're fine.
that's
And where do you
100.
shade? Do you shade to the left of this or do you shade to the right?
To the left.
Very good, Grace. You got that. Percentile is always less than, always to the left. Yep. So now, where do you put it in your stack crunch for this case?
You put it in the second box,
In the second box. So you take,
0.03.
very good. So you change it less than, and the second box, 0.03
30.
or 0.30. Which one? Is this correct? Yes. So make sure you guys know 30th, how to change the decimals. So your answer is what? 92.13. So your answer here is P X less than or equals to 92.13. This is equals to 0.30. And don't forget, because we are doing percentile, it has units. And this is all about IQ scores. So that means the unit here is scores. You guys okay here? So this is how you figure out your percentile. Is that very similar to 6.1?
Yes.
Yes, the only difference is the mean and extension. Now again, class, please don't go and help me to solve this. As you know, don't look at the work that the book try to teach you, because it takes you like half a page to do this. Okay, for one question. Okay, part A, you take half a page. You'll be looking at it, you'll be like, what's going on? All right, let's take a look at number 2 here. So let's read question 2. Again, the keyword is normally distributed. So you can tell they all have the word normally distributed here. Chapter 6. I'm doing this is because of your test, because your test is all very jumbled out. So make sure you know which one is which. This is man. The mean is 69, centimeter is 2.8 inches tall, the height. And then we got women. It's also normally distributed with the mean of this and the centimeter of that. So they got two part here. One is girl, one is male. One is male and one is female. So in order, this is talking about monorail. So which is a train, kind of like a train. In the Disney World, has the height of 72 inches. So this is the monorail in the train. So the question is asking for what percentage of adults men can fit through the door without bending. So let's draw the picture for this. So this is talking about male. Can someone tell me what is the mean and the standard deviation for male?
The mean is 69.0 and the standard deviation is 2.8.
Very good. Okay. Without bending. So how tall is this monorail? The monorail is 72 inches tall, right? So this is 72 inches. So this question is different from the other one because the other one is very obvious, right? Less than, you go to the left, right? More than, you shade to the right. In between, in the middle. But what do you think about this one when adults of men go through the door without bending? So how tall is this, guys, since the monorail is 72 inches tall? Is that lower than 72 or higher than 72?
Lower.
So because when you go through without bending means your height is lower than 72, means you just walk right through. So sometimes when you do your homework, you have to think about this. Is they don't tell you, you have to read about it and figure out where do you shade. So yes, Skylar, that is correct. You have to shade to the left, lower to the left. Now, this question is asking for percentage. Asking percentage is the same as asking for probability or asking for percentile. Which one is the same thing? Percentage. Is that like ABC like you did here? Or the P30? It is the same as probability. So I just want to point out to you, percentile and percentage are two different things. Let me repeat. Percentile and percentage are two different things, so don't get that mixed up. So in order for us to find this percentage, you need to go to your StatCrunch. I don't need this one, sorry. I go to my StatCrunch. So how do we do this is we first, your mean and standard is changed. So your mean in this case is 69. Your standard is 2.8. We still need to shade to the left because it's lower on the left side here. So where do we put 72? Is that in the first box or in the second box? Class, you already can tell. If you look at this, if you just hover your mouse toward that box, what does it say? It says a reference value, right? You see that? And then if you hover on the second one, it says what? Probability, number between 0 and 1. Class, 72. Is 72 a probability or 72 is a reference value?
Probably.
Again, probability has to be between what number? 0 and 1, right? So 72 is a what? Where should we put 72 at? First box or second box? Remember how you
First box.
first box. So they're asking for percentage and probability the same. So you hit compute. So this is your answer right here. So it will be P X less than or equals to 72. And this is equals to 0.8580, this number. So this is your answer in this case. But if you put this answer into your homework, they will mark you wrong. The reason why they mark you wrong is because this question did not ask for decimal. This answer is asking for percentage. So can someone tell me how you convert this into percentage? Should know, right? How do you change this to percent?
Times 100.
So you get what?
85.8%.
Yep, 85.8%. So class, again, percentage, probability, area, make sure you put the value in here, okay? This one is blank. I want you guys to go and do part B now, because this is man. Part B is the same thing, but this time they're asking for what percentage of female go through the door without bending. So what is the mean for the female?
63.6.
And the standard deviation is
2.5 inches.
2.5. Yes, good. That's correct, Grace. And what is the door height again? It's still 72 inches. That's the door. And without bending means you shake where? Left or shake to the right? Where should we shake here?
To the left.
To the left, yes. So what is the difference between this one and part B in your, for the guys and the girls? What are you gonna do with the stack crunch here? What is changing?
The mean and the standard deviation.
Yes, to 63.6 and 2.5. And since your shading is on the left, so it's less than, and 72 is a door. So this is, you just need to change those two because it's different. And this is your answer. So it's P less than or equals 0.9996. Px less than or equals to 72 is equals to 0.9996. But again, if you write this number in your answer, they will mark you wrong because the question wants this in percentage. So can someone tell me what percent is this is? What percent is that? What percent?
99.9%.
Yep. So my question to you is, can you write this as 100%? Can you write this as 100%? The answer is no. You cannot write this as 100% because 99.96% is not the same as 100%. 100% means all the female can go through the door without banning. But 99.96 means still have a 0.04% that females still have to, taller than the door. Okay, so that means you cannot write this as 100%. Okay. Anyone have any questions for me? Question C, does the door design with a height of 72 inches appear to be adequate? So the question C is asking is 72 inches the door height, is that considered good enough? Adequate means, is that good enough? So your answer is a yes or no. You can explain. Again, this answer can be yes, can be no, and it depends on the person. And explain means you have to tell why you support it. So you have to support the answer. So for girls, your answer should be what if you are girls?
Yes.
Yes, because 99.96% what? You girls can go through, right? Easily, right? Because you guys need to bend over. How about guys? Only
No.
only 58.5 for 85.8%. So for me, I'm belongs to the 85.8. So for me, I will still answer yes. But anyone here is taller than 72 inches? Anyone? Any guys? Armin, are you taller than 6 feet? 72 inches is 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm like 6'3".
Okay, so Armin will answer no here. And the reason why he answered no is because he has to bend over when he walked through the door in the bend. So Armin will be one that answer no because he's the 14% of it, the opposite of 85. Anyone beside Armin who is taller than 6 feet here? Beside Armin. Only Armin? Austin? Josh?
I'm about on the dime.
Up.
6 foot.
So you still have the band because you're right over there. So we got 2 students here that have the band. So you 2 will answer no because you are taller than 6 foot. So those people who answer no is for those male who is taller than 6 feet. Otherwise, the rest of us will answer yes. I will answer yes for that case. So again, this kind of question has no right, no wrong answer. It just depends on the person is answering. Part D, what doorway height would allow 98% of the men to fit without bending? So this is asking us to find the 98%. Is that asking us to find percentage? Or the question is asking us to find percentile? So which one is this question asking us to find? 2D. Percentage or percentile? Anyone?
Percentile.
Yes. So the question D here is asking us to find the 98 percentile. And this is talking about male. So 69 inches is the mean for the male. 2.8 is the standard deviation. Because if you calculate 72, only 86 percentile. This is 85, 86, around 86 percentile. But I want to increase to 98 percentile. So where is 98 percentile? 98 percentile is right here. And you have to, as you know, percentile, we have to shape to the left. So if you look at this, how do we do this? Again, the mean is the male one, 69, 2.8. Percentile is to the left. So where should we put 98% here? Is that on second box? Yes. So percentile, so forget 0.98, right? And what will be the answer in this case? 74.75. So in this case, X is less than or equal to 74.75 inches. This is the 98%. So this is your answer in this case. So that means that if I increase from 72 to 74.75, then 98% of the guys can go through the door without bending. Okay. So this is how we figure out using this kind of normal distribution between finding the percentile and finding the percentage. So make sure you guys know how you put it in your StatCrunch. Otherwise, you will get the wrong answer. Does anyone have any questions for me before we go to the last one? Okay, let's do the last question. So question 3, the birth weight for babies are normally distributed with the mean of 3,420 grams and a standard deviation of 495 grams. The Hennepin County will treat special treatments for babies if they born less than 2,450 grams, which is called significantly low, or more than 4,390 grams, which is called significantly high. So question A is asking for what percentage of babies do not require special treatment. So if you look at 3A, the mean for the baby birth weight is 3,420. And the standard deviation is 495. And babies that is born less than 2,450, these babies need special treatment. ST means special treatment. And babies that born above 4,390, which is a heavy baby, one is low and one is high. This kind of baby also needs special treatment. So what did the question A ask us to find? The percentage who what? Do not require special treatment. So where should we shade do not require special treatment? Where do we shade?
The middle.
In the middle. So we are looking for the middle one. Yes. So can someone tell me how you do this in your StatCrunch? So you have to go to the between one. And then do what? The mean is what? 3,420. And the standard deviation is 495. And it's between what? 2,450 and 4,390. So this is your answer. 94 point, almost 95%. So in this case, the probability 2,450, I just written down the last one. X 4,390 is 0 point something. What's that? 0.949, almost 95%. Okay, 95%. Again, the question here is asking for percentage. So make sure you give me percentage. Okay, the question is asking for percentage. And the question is asking also, under this condition, do many babies require special treatment? Now, these are the percentage that babies do not need special treatment. So can someone tell me what are the percentage that require special treatment? Anyone? If 95% do not require special treatment, what percent required special treatment?
4.9%.
5%, yep. Or if you take the complement of your here, so you take 1 minus that. What's 1 minus? Let me see. 1 minus 0.9499567. It's 0.05, around 5%, right? So my question to you is this number big enough? 5%. So is that many babies require special treatments? Again, we use the 5% rule, so it's exactly 5%. So in this case, the answer will be no. Not many babies require special treatments. Because this is right at the 5%. So usually for me, I won't give you exactly this 5%. I give you big numbers. So if this number is more than 5%, which in this case is, that's why I answer no. If your answer is below or equal to 5%, then you answer yes. They require there are a lot of babies require special treatment. So because this is fall right on 5.00, if you change it, it's 5.004%. So it's considered more than 5%. So in this case, not many babies require special treatments. However, if it's below or less than 5%, then your answer is yes. Again, class, in my test, I won't give you this kind of number. I give you the percent is very small, like 1-2%, or I give you a very big percent, like 20-30%. Okay, so I won't give you a percent that is right in the 5% treatment. Okay, so because a lot of students will not know how to answer it. So for this case, I will answer no, because this is 5.004%. Okay, which is more than 5%. I want to take attendance here, please. Put present in your chat room. So this is part 3A. 3B is asking is after consider other factors, they figure out that we need special treatments for those who are lowest 3% and the highest 1%. You have to find the birth weight in this case. So when I ask for the lowest 3% and highest 1%, what does it go to? This is 3420. This is still 495. Where is lowest 3% looks like? The lowest 3%. Is it on the left side or is it on the right side? The lowest 3%.
On the left?
So yep, this is the lowest 3% here. And where is the highest 1%? It's on the right side. This is the highest 1%. So my question to you is how you gonna enter this in your StatCrunch? The mean is 3420, the standard is still 495. I'm gonna do standard because it's, so how do we do the lower 3% first? Let's do the lower 3%. So where should we put this 3%? Lower means less than. Should we put this 3% on the first box or on the second box? Is the 3% a reference value or 3% is a probability? Which one?
On the first box?
Again, 3% is, so that is actually is your third percentile. So that is your, actually you will put it on your second box here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is your 3% here. And that is 24 2.89. So your answer in this case is this. I don't have time to type it. So it will be this 2489 will be your answer here. So class, watch carefully how I see this is missing, right? If this is missing means the first box is empty. See, this one is missing. Last time you see, you got these two numbers. That means you put this inside here. This is missing, so that will be blank. So how do you do your highest 1% in this case? So where do we do for highest 1%? We have to change this to become greater than, and the 1% is going to be on the second box. So the highest 1% in this case will be 4572. So this is how you do your lowest 3% and your highest 1%, which is your percentile in this case, consider. Okay. So again, class, what I want to point out to you is if a question is asking for percentage, it's the same thing as asking for probability. They are all the same. If a question asking for 30th percentile, what is the height of a 98% of the man, or the lowest or the highest 3%, 1%, you are looking for the value. Okay, so the other way. So make sure you guys know the difference here. Make sure you practice on this. This is very important. A lot of students get these two mixed up. So make sure you guys read the question really carefully and how you do this. So that's the end for today's class. So we will have a class on Wednesday for the last section 6.4. And then we will have a review coming up. Test is on the following Wednesday. So make sure you guys study up to 6.4. Anyone have any questions for me before we end today's Zoom class?